Tobacco and Firearms, and CNN national security analyst Juliette Kayyem. Welcome to both of you.
Good morning.
So Matthew, when you look at those statistics from the Southern Poverty Law Center, what goes through your mind?
Well, you know, it really polarizes our difficulty in identifying pre-incident. We're left with the facts after these incidents occur, but how do we identify people when we don't know what their ideology is, what groups they're following, who's having impact, who's influencing them? And then today, 1 month after Charleston, we're sitting here again talking about yet another incident.
And Juliette, as we pointed out, these lone wolves come from every community. I mean, Chicola sounds like an Italian name to me, so he certainly wasn't a practicing Muslim all of his life.
The majority of these domestic terrorism incidences are actually not Islam or Muslim related. They're actually white supremacy, at least according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. Look, you're not going to be able to target a group of people that have no common identity, right? So you can't just say, well, this group of people, they're coming from all over the place. So there's a couple solutions. One is clearly engaging communities, whether it's family, friends, community members, church, mosque leaders, to identify potential people who may be radicalized, whatever their faith. And then the other is, of course, being smart about soft targets. But I want to make it clear here, guns are not the solution here. The idea of arming everyone who might be in a soft target is absurd. I mean, then you're talking about schools, movie theaters. You'd have a very different society. Guns are actually very easily attained by violent people, as we see. And so we can harden soft targets, but it's a delusion to think that we are going to be a country with a harder, without soft targets.
Looking at this amorphous mass of people, right? I mean, really, the only commonality among these lone wolves is most of them are young men in their 20s. That's a lot of people.
Well, let's talk about several things. Number one, let's talk about the firearm issue. Criminals that want to misuse firearms are going to obtain firearms, whether they buy them legally or illegally. That's the first thing. And look at this case. No signs. From all intents and purposes, everything we're hearing is, everyone is saying this was a great guy. He had good habits. He was an athlete. He was in church. No signs. Some of the other cases, all the signs were there, but no one acted on them. So very different, very unique.
Yeah, in fact, this guy actually reminds me of Johar Tsarnaev. Good-looking guy. Everybody liked him. He was popular in high school, very well educated. Both of them were wrestlers, and then something happened.
And there's a gap in his biography, as there was with the elder Tsarnaev brother, this sort of last 2-year period. And that's where investigators are going to be looking, whether it was because of travel that we're hearing about, although I should say the government has not confirmed where he was, if he even left the country, or if it was on social media. We'll find out relatively soon where the paths are going to take this investigation. But look, we're not going to be able to stop all of this all of the time, and so we have to prepare ourselves by, being resilient communities. It's just an unfortunate aspect of our modern society.
It doesn't sound like the greatest of, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but how sad, right?
Yeah.
And think about the challenge of securing recruitment centers. You have the idea that the military at that level, they're supposed to be ambassadors of the military. They're visible. The military wants them to be accessible by the public, and yet they're so vulnerable, and this incident shows exactly how vulnerable they really are.
Matthew, Juliette, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Still to come in the newsroom, if you thought El Chapo's brazen prison escape was shocking, wait until you hear how much time went by before anyone noticed.